in the story of the swimmer, I learned that addiction takes over your mind and changes the way you think. It makes you become weaker mentally. Um, it starts out saying everyone sits around to drink. Nettie Merrill sat by green water, one hand in it, one around a glass of gin. So it's socially accepted drink in this town. It's a higher class suburb. Um, he had a vague idea of himself as legendary. He always viewed and analyzed people at parties and their social status. So he had a little bit of an ego. This goes hand in hand with his addiction to drinking. I believe his each pool that he swims in is a chapter of his life. So um, it starts out with stating that he jogged toward the smell of coffee. He's in shape. He's doing well. The only maps and charts he had to go were remembered or imaginary. This is foreshadowing, saying that some of the stuff he's saying is not all there. He doesn't remember it. Some of it's imaginary, kind of referring to his drinking. When you get drunk, you kind of you're a little phasey. So the first pool he visits is a Graham, and they state, "I've been trying to get you on the phone all day." So she was eager to see him. She gave him a drink. Things are going well. This is the first chapter of his life. The next pool he swam to was the Hammers and the Howlands and the Crosscups. This is time that's passing by. He started for the bunkers where he could hear a party. This is the next chapter in his life. This is the next big thing that happens. It says 25 or 30 men were drinking. This is a metaphor, 25 to 30 days, I believe. Because it states that Lucinda couldn't come. So in this 25 to 30 days, which in the story it's only like 5-10 minutes when he went to another pool, what could have possibly happened to Lucinda? So over 25 to 30 days, something happened between them. Why would she say he couldn't come? A smiling bartender gave him another drink. So we still see he's drinking. The next chapter, he went to the Levy's. He noticed the house was empty. He didn't know why. So this is another phasey moment. He's drinking. He's at the next chapter of his life. This is where he kind of can't remember. He poured himself a drink, and he has nearly swam half the Lucinda River. So this is the halfway point. And we know this because it states in the next chapter, it would storm. So things go downhill from here. This is the climax. He wondered what time it was. 4 or 5. Now 4 to 5 hours, 4 to 5 o'clock. I believe this is months. 4 to 5 months have passed by. So he stayed at the Levy's gazebo, which I believe this is where he just waited for the storm to pass, kind of just foreshadowing that he may have lost his house or he's in a little of a ditch right now. He passed through the Lindleys with unclear memories, went to the Welshers, and their pool was drained and had a for sale sign. It seemed only a week, which I believe this is a year in metaphor or so ago, that he got an invitation to dine with them. So he's not even realizing where everyone's going. This drinking is becoming out of control. His ego isn't realizing this is becoming a problem. So he's not telling himself. He's accepted the social aspect of drinking, and it's become a problem. And when he was at the top of the totem pole, I believe he wasn't drinking as much, but since he was socially accepted in the town, he didn't realize he had a problem because he wasn't doing it. So when he started drinking and it was socially accepted, it's become this problem with his ego, and it's just spiraled out of control. It states he was laughed at, jeered at, a beer was thrown at him on the highway. So now his social status is going down the drain, and he's still going. His ego is still making him go. He went to the community pool. I believe this is a community event to kind of get his social status back up, but he thought he was contaminating himself with the people with the pool, which referred to the community he was with. So his ego is still so high, and he won't admit that he has a problem. He went to the Hollorans, where he went swimming, where they state, "We've been terribly sorry to hear about the misfortunes." Now, this is where we really notice that something happened. This is where we can kind of piece together. This is each chapter in his life. Ned replies to the Hollands, he didn't know what they meant, meaning he was in denial. His ego is still playing a big role. So he put his swim trunks back on. They were loose. He was cold. His arms were lame. His legs felt rubbery. He is losing his physical strength. His health is going down the drain. He's been drinking so much, which that just is what happens. Leaves are falling down around him. Smelled wood, smoke, and the wind. So times are changing. It's about winter right now. He said he needed a drink. Whiskey would warm him and pick him up. He needed a stimulant. So this is where now drinking is becoming a necessity. He does have a problem. He went to the Sakes. He asked for a drink. They didn't give it to him because his friend Eric had an operation 3 years ago. So now it's been 3 years and he's completely clueless. He's like, what? I didn't know my friend went through an operation. He went to the Biswangers, which he never accepted their invites, and he only went there for which he viewed him as at the bottom of the totem pole. He went there because he had nowhere else to go. They actually stated that he was a gate crasher. He got another drink at their house, and he visited Shirley Adams, which is explaining what happened to Lucinda, which was his mistress. She told him to grow up because so much has time gone by, and he has not changed at all. He then went to the Gilmartin's pool and then the Clyde, stopping again and again with his hand on the curb to rest his health, and his fitness has really declined at this point. So he's resting on the side of the pool. He has no energy. His health has deteriorated completely. He finally makes it to his home, which is the last point of his life, of this chapter. Notice everything's gone. His family, his belongings, there's a for sale sign, it was locked, and this is where the story ends. His ego and his addiction got out of control, and he has lost everything. And that's kind of what I learned about how they go hand in hand. It affects your mental, how you think, and his ego got in the way of admitting that he had a problem.